think we'll be fine.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Is this bad?
You don't follow the rules. I don't think I need to. I learned by example.
So simply pop these guys off, right? I like to set it like this just because it keeps the bar in line with your faceplate. Some people will do it like this and like hold it and just set it down. Much easier in my opinion. Pop these guys off. I like to start a little collection right here. So right behind there, simply all you need to do, rag it. Get all that stuff off there, super easy. Set it aside. Popping off the chain, just pull it off. We'll set this like this. There, simply just inspect, right? So if everyone gets close, they can see that those rails, so rails 1, 2, there's 2 of them right, channels in the middle, those are straight. The reason I say we need to flip the bars because it's actually made to flip because you have an oiler hole here, right? Everyone, this one right there, that lines up perfectly with the oiler outlet right there. So it fits on there, then you can flip it, oiler hole, and flip it. So it's made to be flipped. So here, these are kind of some big components. So you got your clutch drum right there. Underneath that is your clutch. And then that essentially stops, right? So disengage, you're running, chain brake, stops. For this piece to go out, I've only seen it go out a couple times, and it's like after a summer of running and gunning pretty hard. But you also see metal shavings built up in there if it's starting to go. So just something to look at. And then you got your E-clip, which is super pain in the ass. So we decided not to have people go beyond this point. Washer, your sprocket. So that's where your drivers sit in. So if you don't put your chain on correctly, if it's only your driver's only on the top half and you fire it up, then your driver's going to spin your chain off of the sprocket. Seen it happen a bunch. Just want to make sure that's on there. But then this part here, take off your oiler plate. This is your oil plate cover. Always clean it off. Inspect. So here's your chain tensioner. Right here. This part will be loose, but this should be snug in there, and then this screw should be tight. So this is as far as for this part that we want people to be going. Just making sure that this is clean. You're not seeing metal shavings in here. This is another chain catcher right here. Right, so if your chain falls off, it's going to hit that, and then you got. So instead of having one right here like you saw in the video, it's this piece. And then this is actually missing a flap, not a huge deal, it'll still catch, but this one's really important. So it's either that little plastic round thing we saw in the PowerPoint or this metal piece here. And if you see, it's just a different style, but this would actually it's different dogs. That's probably why they put it on there. These dogs are bigger. Oh well, this is still a good chain catcher. All right. And then here, just to point it out, there's your outlet for your oil. If there's something in there, just get it out, because it's just like a Venturi effect pretty much from here. So there's your reservoir, right? Spinning of the chain, it's pulling up the oil out of there. So if something's clogged, it's going to cause damage. Your bar's going to get hot. And then it's not going to spin. You're going to be full throttle. It's going to be like, you know, that bore down that you hear. I understand I'm going out of order here because I just have habits. But here, this is our first step, right? Air filter. So you got the air filter, then you have the pre-filter. Typically, the work we're going to be doing, a lot of it's probably going to get through because it's going to be dusty, right? But if we're cutting wood, a lot of the wood's going to be on the pre-filter. Take that off, shake it out. Simply hold this up to the light, look through. This one you can tell has been on there a while, also by the debris that's been built up. It's still good, but usually you'll be able to see a little more light coming in. But air chuck on the inside to blow it, try and get it all to come out instead of blowing it deeper into the filter. Pre-filter goes back on. And this piece here. So there's the butterfly valve closed because I'm in full choke. Right, that's what we start them up in until we hear that initial kick over, and we switch it to half choke. Then it'll automatically kick over, right, until we do that, and then we're in line. Connor? Cool. Then, you know, little things. Seen them put on backwards. Says top for a reason. Slap it on there. You always want to read the lettering. It's supposed to be right side up. Slap it on there.
Does that pre-filter matter how it goes on?
No. Yeah, good question. Typically, this elastic piece is either top or bottom, not on the side. You guys get that? So there's that front, top or bottom. Spark plug boot. We don't want people taking off the spark plug boot, but we need to understand what it does and where it goes. So spark plug boot, and I'll just pop this so we all know. Spark plug is underneath, right? It's like a pretty new spark plug. We don't want people taking it off because something could happen. It cannot get put on all the way. Then you're trying to fire it up, and you're flooding it, and the saw's not working. It should always just be on snug. But that's going down here. There's a little cord that goes all the way down to about right here, where it's a magneto, and that's the magnet that helps spin the flywheel. So when you pull on this, you're spinning the flywheel, you're creating a magnetic force that then starts the saw and the piston and sends the spark to the spark plug so it can ignite the fuel. Really simple. It's like 3 wires. That's all that there is really in there. That's really it. You know, it's real basic, and then just making sure you put it back together correctly. So making sure that you get this in there. You don't want to forget that. Snug, hand tight there. Oh, and then, I don't think I went over this, but yeah, you're inspecting, right? So it's actually pretty good. There's a little bit of burr on this side. Not huge, but this is real nice. Just take it, and it'll clean it all out. A couple swipes. After that, make sure you're checking your oiler holes. They will get clogged. Air chuck it. You're going to be fine. Just like that. Put that on. Put your. Another thing with these little screws too on the oiler plate, they strip out pretty easy. So don't be cranking down. Just hand tight. It's either the scrunch or a flathead.
Can the oil plate be put on backwards?
No, I mean you could try.
Like
Figure.
upside down? I mean?
Yeah. No, because you see the way it sits.
Fits.
Yeah, form fits it. Yep. I even think this one might be stripped out. No, we're good. Even if this screw strips out and it's not on there, I don't think it's a big deal because then you have this on there, and then you have this holding that down. So this whole piece right here sets on the bar. One time I was running the saw and that screw fell out and it like got caught in the chain. It was just sitting there like metal on metal for like, I don't know, 4 trees. I'm just like, what the heck? Take it off. The screw's in there, and my teeth are just jacked. I'm like, just took the screw and threw it. Didn't tell my captain.
It's amazing.
Yeah, tricks for the chain. Right, so here you got rakers, the teeth, the links, and then the drivers. So the most important really to me is the raker is really the most important. Because if your raker's too high, you're not going to cut. And if it's too low, you're going to be cutting too much. So not that you guys are going to be sharpening it, but I want you guys just to understand like how this thing works. So the raker depicts how much wood you're taking. So like I said, if it's too low, you're taking too much, your saw's overworking itself. If it's too high, you're not taking enough. Then you're working too hard. Of course, it's awesome for the teeth to be sharp. That's always nice, but the raker is pretty important. There's certain angles that you sharpen these teeth at. I believe it's 32 degrees, 32.5 degrees. I use the little line. You can see the line. That's how I do it. That line is pre-designated at 32.5 degrees. And it's hand sharpening, or you can get the jig. We don't have one, but that's the other way. Otherwise, you just buy a new chain. There's 4 sets down in the tool room. They're all labeled 20-inch bar on them, and just throw a new chain on. Let me know, and we'll get another one ordered. And someday when I'm super bored, I'll sit and sharpen a bunch of chain. I realize that I don't like working for the Forest Service anymore. Yeah, some tricks to put the chain back on. Like this, I like to get one side, flip it, bada bing, it's on there. Raker's always out, right? It's the top of bar. Notice how I flipped it, because it doesn't matter. Okay, right here. If you're fighting it, it's because your chain's not all the way in the channel. Once you get it, tip it over. Notice that the chain tensioner is in the hole. Okay, so it's in there. By putting my saw at an angle like this, I don't have to do much. All I have to do is make sure that doesn't happen. Throw my faceplate on. Hand tighten these just a little bit. Rotate. Make sure we're evenly tightening them at the same time. So once you're out of here, just want to check your chain tension. And it should be the same because I didn't touch it. So we're good. And then these ones you want pretty tight. Not like crazy tight because you'll strip them out. And then maybe the next person can't get them off. But tight enough to where they're not going to move. So that's on. Flip it, disengage. I like to pull it like this so that you know all your drivers are connecting with that sprocket and they're not coming off. It's on. So we've cleaned it, right? Now just fire it up. Just kidding. Make sure that it runs. Just want to check. Yep, so we're still good. Yep, it's that reddish tint. Has everyone checked out this new fuel? Okay. I'm sure you guys have dealt with this, right? Where the ball comes out. Just speaking of it, it's happening. You know that little groove there, just a pain in the butt to get it in. All right, clip back in. So there's just a little groove there. Super easy fix. And that's it. It's Frain 101. Chainsaw etiquette.